Welcome. Hi, I'm Ida Reis, certified divorce lending professional, and this interview is part of the Divorce Literacy series from the Divorce Lending Association. And today I have with me Shelly Ingram. Shelly, welcome.
Thank you, Ida.
Yeah. Shelly, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background and your practice?
Sure. I have practiced family law for almost 20 years. I am a child of divorce and a divorced person myself, and family law really found me shortly after I began my legal career. And since 2006, my work as an attorney has been focused on the areas of divorce and family law. I have a small family law firm in Maryland. It's myself and three associates, and we offer litigation, mediation, and collaborative services. We're about to celebrate our 11th anniversary, and so the scope of our practice is really dedicated to family law, divorce, child custody, and things of that nature.
Okay. So for our audience, who's probably going to be people that are maybe thinking about it or maybe in the, sort of ready to start, what would you say to them, some advice that might help them go starting down this road?
Sure. And by that, I think you mean the road of divorce and separation?
Yes, yes, thank you for clarifying. Yes.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I would say the biggest piece of advice that I can offer is that if you have a choice as to which option, process option you're going to pursue to go down the road, be it litigation, negotiation, mediation, or collaborative, that you should really give it your best to try and reach an out-of-court agreement when you can. The reason why is because while our courts are equipped to address family issues having to do with finances and children and things of the like, the court process can be slow and very expensive. And for litigants, people who are involved in contested litigation, it can almost be like a full-time job because in order for them to get the best results from their counsel, they really do have to be involved in the litigation process. So there's a lot of homework for folks who are involved in litigation, separate and apart from the kind of painstaking timeline and the great expense that litigation can involve.
Okay, that's great. Never thought about the extra time involved, which I guess might take someone away from, whatever their duties are at working or caring for children, or can you expand on that a little bit when you say more time? So maybe
Yeah,
sort of tell us a little bit about what that means.
sure. As I said, my firm, within the scope of family law that we practice, we offer a variety of process options to our clients. And I really like the fact that we can tailor the process options to the needs of a client, whereas some firms don't offer all of the options. They may not be mediators or they may not offer collaborative services. And the reason why I say to anyone, if you can reach an agreement out of court, you should really give that a full effort, is because the time involved for folks who have no choice but to be involved in litigation is really one of the hardest issues. It's very uncertain to be involved in litigation. The court process for a divorce in Maryland, where we are, can take 12 to 18 months. So from the time you initially file and ask the court to do something for you, it can be over a year before a remedy can be in place. And during that year, you are involved in the litigation process. So there are court deadlines that must be met. There are court tasks that must be completed, inventories of property, discoveries of information and documents, depositions, things that will require a client's participation, even if the lawyer is really navigating the tasks, controlling the workflows. It's not without the input of a client. Lawyers really can't do their work without having good information from clients, particularly in family law cases where so much is fact driven. There's no way for your attorney to know the ins and outs of what happened with your family finances or with your home or with home improvements or your kids unless you share that information with them because the documents are only going to show so much.
Yeah, yeah, those are great points and good information for our listeners. If you were, so as far as like mediation or collaborative are concerned, seems to be more flexibility. Can you compare that a little bit and tell, like, for example, in the courtroom, you got to be there during business hours, right? What about
Correct.
mediation and collaborative, and what kind of flexibility is there? And let's go there first, then I have another
Well,
question.
certainly folks are in charge of the timeline for mediation and collaborative. A mediated case or a collaborative case can go as fast or as slow as circumstances require. If people are aware of what their financial circumstances are, they keep good records, then a lot of time isn't needed in between these meetings or these sessions to be able to do work or to gather information because the information is readily available. With respect to how meetings for collaborative are set or how mediations are set, it really depends a lot upon the schedules of the professionals that you hire. So when you're looking to interview a collaborative professional or potential mediator, you may want to ask, do they offer sessions virtually? Is everything in person? Do they have weekend or evening hours? And so it really depends upon the availability of the professionals that you choose to work with as to scheduling. But certainly the courts are Monday to Friday, generally between 8 and 4:30 or 5, and no federal holidays or weekends for litigation. But those out of court processes, you have more control of the scheduling and also the outcomes that can result.
Yeah, and it seems like, if you go to court, you might not have access to other professionals as easily, maybe, to sort of bring them in. Is that accurate? And maybe, during the other processes you can for, I don't know, I'm going to let you answer that.
Yeah, well, I think it depends. I'm certainly within the
Yeah.
litigation process. You can involve experts in your team. You can have
Mhm.
experts come to present evidence and testimony and opinions to the court as part of your case. So you can also have experts be involved in your trial strategy to help you prepare for court, to compile exhibits and evidence and summaries and things like that that make complex issues more digestible for the court. Within the out of court processes, mediation and collaborative, you can also involve experts or other professionals like yourself, mortgage brokers. You can have real property appraisers. You can have financial advisors, and they can work in an advisory capacity to help with settlement negotiations, to help you better understand what your financial circumstances may be on the backside of a divorce or separation, how you can make the money that and the assets that you receive as part of a divorce or separation work better for you in the future. There really is no limit to the way that you can be prepared and the help that you can get in any of these processes, but the manner in which the information is received differs, be it within the context of litigation or out of court. The
Okay,
other thing
so
that I would say as to, just sort of thinking back as to the differences between mediation and collaboration is while you may have a lawyer attend mediation with you, a lot of times folks go to mediation without counsel. And the mediator, even if your mediator is an attorney, I am an attorney mediator. When I'm wearing my mediation hat, I can't offer any legal advice. So
Mhm.
if someone is kind of wandering into a deal that may not be what the law would do, or may not be the best deal because they're uninformed, the lawyer mediator can't advise. Whereas in collaborative, you have an attorney who is trained as a mediator because collaborative attorneys all have mediation training. And the attorney is with you as part of your collaborative team. So you always have access to that legal advice that you may need to make great decisions.
That's great. That's a great comparison. If you do you have any, because we're running too close to the top of the few minutes we have, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners that would be helpful to them?
Sure. I would say that when you're trying to decide what process option you want to pursue and who you want to have help you with that. It's important to understand that all of these things are relationships. And unlike some legal matters, family cases having to do with your home and with your children in particular are really personal. And you need to be able to feel very comfortable having open communication with your attorney, that you feel heard by the attorney, that the attorney understands you, that you feel comfortable asking questions. It's a relationship. So you really want to make sure that the professional team that you build for yourself in whatever process you're in makes you feel really supported. Um, from what I see, having done this for many years, is that the uncertainty of it is really the most excruciating thing for folks. People can accept that, they may have to sell their home, they may have to downsize, they may have to make some changes when they go from a two income or a two partner household to one. But having some understanding about how those things are going to happen, what that looks like, what your options are, someone who's really going to not only listen to you, but educate you as well as advocate for you in whatever process you choose really can make the difference for folks. And for me, seeing people transition through this process and knowing that they've trusted me to help them get there is really the thing that makes this work so rewarding for me. I really love to see people blossom when they sort of start out in circumstances that may be somewhat unexpected, but get really excited about what's coming next for them as they feel empowered with more information.
Yeah, that's really important. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with us today. Would you kindly tell the listeners where they can contact you? Maybe your website might be the easiest place to go.
Sure, my pleasure. The web address for my firm is my name, Shelly, Shelly, Ingram, Ingram, law.com, ShellyIngramLaw.com.
Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate it. Thank you.